Hello YouTube, this is Core22 here. Welcome back to another single ship discussion for Star Wars X-Wing miniatures. In this series we take a look at single ship builds and discuss their competitive viability in the Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game. Tonight we're looking at the Rebel Alliance once more. We're looking at one of the most talented Y-Wing pilots of the Rebel Alliance, and that would be Colonel Horton Salm of Gray Squadron. Now, I've done a little bit of tweaking to this Y-Wing. Most normal Y-Wings come with the standard Gold Squadron colors, or if you get the Most Wanted pack, it comes with a Syndicate Thug color scheme. But this one, I painted the bands around the twin ion engines here and around the main fuselage here into the Gray Squadron colors to help identify that it's from that this is a Gray Squadron Y-Wing. Found out actually that there were multiple squadrons with Y-Wings in them. There was Red Squadron, surprisingly, I wasn't expecting that. Green Squadron also used Y-Wings. But the most notable ones were Gold and Gray Squadron, namely those guys led by Horton Salm and Dutch Vander, respectively. A fun fact about the Y-Wing is that there were actually two variants that the Rebel Alliance used. There was the BTL S3 model, which is what Horton Salm heavily preferred, and then there was the BTL A4 model Y-Wing. Now, here's the deal. The S3 models, they were a little bit more expensive to purchase, but they had they were a two-seater variant, and one piloted the ship while the other operated the topside cannon on the top of the ship, be it an ion cannon, an auto blaster turret, or a twin laser turret, or whatever kind of turret that was installed on the Y-Wing at the time. And Horton Salm himself even stated he always preferred the S3 over the A4 because it was the ship that always brought him home alive. And most of his all of his pilots and his squadrons heavily used the S3 with great efficiency. Around the time of the Battle of Yavin, though, Rebel Alliance bought a more updated version of the Y-Wing. I say updated loosely, and that was the BTL A4 model of the Y-Wing. The cannon was locked in a forward firing position, and the pilot, it was a single ship. It was a single pilot ship, which reduced manpower, but at the same time, because of the fact that the turret was locked into forward firing position, it kind of lost its rear. Rear coverage for ships that were approaching it from behind, or rather, many angles. So it was as cheaper. It was a cheaper and easier ship to maintain, but it really wasn't worth it in the long run because, well, more A4 Y-Wings got destroyed than S3 models, so they ended up going back to the S3s, especially for battles like Endor and all that, and quite possibly Jakku. But all in all, the Y-Wing is a very versatile ship. It's been around since the Clone Wars era. Very heavily armored, very heavily shielded, even with all of its armor stripped off of it. Can carry lots of weapons, missiles, torpedoes, bombs, topside ion cannons, auto blaster turrets, all that sort. Two frontal laser cannons, and two rather large twin ion engines. Yes, they are twin ion engines, so despite the fact that they're not made by Sinar, they're made by Quansar. And a rear, and like with the X-Wing, they have a onboard astromech for in-flight navigation and repairs. That said, let's look at the squadron build itself. We'll start with the pilot. Move on with his upgrades as per usual. The pilot tonight is Colonel Horton Salm of Gray Squadron. Coming in at a pilot skill of 8, he flies the Quansar BTL Y-Wing attack starfighter for the Rebel Alliance. He has the standard stat line of a Y-Wing. He has an attack value of 2, agility value of 1, a hull value of 5, and a shield value of 3. So, average attack power, very abysmal agility, but lots of hit points. So, these things are meant to take hits. His action bar consists of a focus and target lock action. He costs 25 points to field. And his upgrade bar consists of a turret upgrade, 2 warheads, and an astromech. His pilot ability reads, when attacking at range 2 to 3, you may reroll any of your blank results. So, this applies to any weapon you're attacking with, be it your primary weapon, a turreted or extra secondary weapon you might have equipped onto him. Whatever weapon you're attacking with, as long as you stay at range 2 to 3, Horton Salm will get a reroll for any of your blanks. So Horton Salm is primarily meant to stay at a distance, which is perfect for the build I have set up for him, because this ensures last ability while firing at a distance, but at the same time, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Now, this might seem counterproductive to what I've just said, but for this particular build, I've given him the BTL A4 Y-Wing title card, which came with the Most Wanted pack. It's a squadron point cost of 0, it's a Y-Wing only title, and it reads, you cannot attack ships outside your firing arc. After you perform a primary weapon attack, you may immediately perform an attack with a turret secondary weapon. So, as I said before, the A4 Y-Wing loses its ability to fire any direction. Its cannon is locked in a forward firing position. However, you can attack twice in the same turn as long as you have that cannon up on you. It has its advantages. It basically allows you to take 2 attacks in the same turn. But its disadvantages, you lose your all-around coverage, so there's that. But with the build I've got going on right now, that really won't be much of a consequence, because you're going to be staying at as far away a distance as you can. Anyway, let's go on to his modification. Here we got a stealth device put onto him, which is perfect for when he's staying at range 3. It has a squad point cost of 3, and it reads, increase your agility value by 1. If you're hit by an attack, you discard this card. So, with the stealth device, Horton Salm now has an agility value of 2, which becomes an agility value of which of course gets you 3 dice when defending at range 3. So basically, with that in mind, as long as you keep Horton Salm at range 3, he'll have the same agility value as an A-wing, which is pretty cool, all things considering. And honestly, he's going to need the extra boost in agility, provided he doesn't take a hit from anything. Beware of pilots like Lieutenant Blount, because his attack always guarantees that his ability states that his attack is guaranteed to hit even if they don't do damage, which means if he hits you, your stealth device is gone. Now we look at his turret, which is becoming a very popular turret among any ships with a turret, or the turret upgrade. That is the twin laser turret. Coming in at a squad point cost of 6, has an attack value of 3, and it uses a range 2 to 3, so this greatly benefits Horton Salm's ability. It states, perform this attack twice, even against a ship outside your firing arc. Well, I have the BTLA4 title, so that negates that effect. Each time this attack hits, the defender suffers 1 damage, then cancel all dice results. So, it has the same kind of hit point output as the ion cannons do, but you get to use this attack twice. So, putting this on 4 Y-Wings, putting 4 Y-Wings with twin laser turrets can be pretty deadly, all things considered. Because that's like 8 attacks, and that's like 8 hits in one combat round. The reason why I've chosen to put him a BTLA4 with twin laser turret is because of his astromech, and it's becoming a very popular astromech in using with any Y-wing fighter, and that's R3A2, or otherwise known as the stress bot. Coming in at a squad point cost of 2, so pretty cheap. It reads, let me get this to focus, please. Yes? No? Okay. It basically states, when you declare an attack, the target of your attack, if the defender is inside your firing arc, you may receive a stress token to cause the defender to receive a stress token. So this is why I pair the BTLA4 title with twin laser turrets and R3A2. As long as I keep the guy in my firing arc, I can stress myself out so they get a stress. This applies to every time I attack. So that means I attack with my primary weapon, with BTLA4, I attack my primary weapon, I stress myself with R3A2, so the opponent gets stressed. And then, regardless if my attack hits or miss, I can then attack again with the twin laser turret, thanks to BTLA4. I can again stress myself out. And I can then stress myself out to get the guy to get another stress. And then, of course, because twin laser turret lets you attack twice, again, I can stress out, they get a stress. So altogether, while Horton Salm is going to be getting 3 stresses, the enemy is going to be getting 3 stresses as well. The idea behind Horton Salm is you want to stay at range 2 to 3 at all times, preferably range 3. So that way you get that agility bonus with the stealth device. Circle around, find ways to get behind your opponent, or at least keep them in your firing arc, or at the very least have him go through a straight line, nailing ships as he passes by, and making sure all his escorts finish off whatever he hits, or get some added damage whenever he hits. Alternatively, you could replace R3A2 with R2D2, because if Horton Salm is going to be making lots of green maneuvers, and the only green maneuvers he has is a straight 1 and 2, then R2D2 will help ensure that he gets his shields back regardless, and plus he'll have the stealth device, and if you want, you can take off the BTLA4 title to give him that all-around coverage, which would probably be better, but again, for this build, he's kind of going for a triple attack and a triple stress with R3A2. And then, of course, he has twin laser turrets to help with that, and a stealth device to help his agility a bit. Plus his ability, which greatly complements the twin laser turret, because he has to stay at range 2 to 3 in order to use it, which of course grants him rerolls on his results. That's why I think it's a really good. I used this build once with my double tap build. This, however, kind of broke me a bit. So yeah. Anyway, so this is how I would field Horton Salm. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Any sort of criticism is greatly appreciated. If you'd like, you may use this build for any competitive or casual play, or you could tweak it or revamp it to your own specifications. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Corbin22, signing off.